Hello, this is Dr. Tae. So, for those who are just tuning in for the first time who don't know me, my name is Dr. Tae. I have a doctorate in herbology. I carry more than 400 different individual herbal ingredients in my practice. I've been practicing for about 16, now going on 17 years, and I have a long history of treating a lot of women's health, men's health, especially in the field of immune system, and most importantly, fertility. I see about 20 cases a year on average, um, and I help women balance out their hormones. And one of my recent anecdotes about how herbs affect especially women's bodies, I should say, is that the quality of egg for IVF is dramatically improved. Before the herbs, the patient reported that her egg quality was not good for IVF. And after taking my herbs, her egg quality not only got better, but she also produced more eggs. And I did have a patient a long time ago taking my herbs who happened to be a sonogram specialist at a hospital. And when she was taking my herbs, she was talking about her ovaries, how like these tentacles were growing. It looks like it was flowering. So that's some cool things about how herbs can affect the body, especially in the field of fertility. Now, having said all of that, I want to talk about the Moringa tree today. And the Moringa tree is one of those um, ingredients that is almost supernatural. Um, and it's a drought resistant tree native in South Asia around the foothills of Himalaya. And this tree has been around for a long time. It is even mentioned in the Bible. I'll get to that in just a little bit. Um, and this is one of those rare herbs or plants that has so many different functions, and it's got so many different things. It's got 27 different vitamins, 9 different essential amino acids, 46 different antioxidants, numerous minerals, and high concentrations of protein. For a small dosage, it packs literally a punch. And it's got twice the protein of yogurt, 4 times the vitamin A of carrots, 3 times the potassium of bananas, 4 times the calcium of milk, and 7 times more vitamin C compared to oranges. Studies have shown that micronutrient content is even greater when the leaves are dried, 10 times the vitamin A of carrots, 17, and so forth. This is very nutritionally dense substance. And this herb was used for people who are trying to combat malnutrition, especially among infants, while people were traveling around the world trying to get rid of world hunger and so forth. And it's one of those things that is natural nutrition for the tropics. All right. Now, having said all of this, let's move on. This plant is actually mentioned in the Bible in the book of Exodus, how Moses purified water at Mount Sinai. And, and for that same reason, people have made studies showing moringa seeds have known to purify water. And there's a whole different study that shows how exactly it does that with the amino acids. All right, so this is what the tree looks like. And we talked about the nutritional benefits, which I'm not going to get into so much. But I do want to focus on the vocabulary because these are the things that it really does. It's got antioxidant properties. Basically, antioxidant means that it prevents or delays the decay of cells. Anti-diabetic means that it stabilizes the blood sugar levels. 2 is anti-hypertensive. It lowers blood pressure. And it does that. Why? Because it's anti-spasmodic. The word anti means no, and spasm is in there. So it's anti-spasm, and it relieves the lower muscle spasms. And because it lowers muscle spasms, it directly affects heart attacks and strokes. Heart attacks or strokes is when your body is holding so much tension all the time, it increases the blood pressure inside your cardiovascular system. And at the same time is anticoagulant, meaning that it prevents clotting of blood, and therefore heart attacks and strokes can occur due to blood pressure increase. And a second factor that also increases blood pressure is the blood clotting factor. When blood creates a clot, it sticks together and creates a big mumbo jumbo, big clot, and eventually goes into a blood vessel where it gets stuck and is unable to free itself, and therefore eventually pressure begins to build up and something pops. If it pops in your heart, we call that a heart attack. If it pops in your brain, we call that a stroke. And so this herb has anti-spasmodic effects and anticoagulant effects, which is great for heart attacks and strokes, or the prevention of strokes and heart attacks. And is anti-dyslipidemia, which means it lowers the fats inside your blood sugar levels. And it's got nuclear factor erythroid 2 related factor, aka NRF2, which is it stimulates pathways that resolves inflammation by reducing oxidative stress, inhibiting pro-inflammatory signals, and restoring the functions of mitochondria. Okay, having said all of this, this is a great picture of how this one herb has numerous effects ranging from neuroproductive, anti-helmintic, which inhibits the energy of metabolism and affecting motor activity of parasites. Parasites are known to cause all these unwanted cravings. If you've ever seen these YouTube videos of parasites going into these insects and it controls the insects, well, these parasites, if they're inside of you, they make you go out there and eat cakes, sugar, and all of these things. So are you in control, or are they really in control? Is anti-proliferative, means that it prevents proliferation of things that you don't want in the body. It's got anti-mutagenic effects, is good for your vascular contraction, and the polyphenols and the phytosterols, which causes anti-cancer activities in the body. And it's got these healing properties that helps regenerate flesh because of the anti-ulcer, hepatoprotective. Hepato simply is a fancy word for liver. Cardioprotective, it protects the heart because it's antispasmodic. Anti-allergic, anti-infective, anti-diabetic, anti-hypertensive, is hypoglycemia and immune regulation potential. It's got antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and the list goes on and on and on. Now, I like to look at human studies. There's a lot of rat studies on these herbs, but if we go to the human studies and what it did, let's go to the summary. In summary, the previous human studies indicate that the whole leaf powders of Moringa given orally exhibit significant anti-hyperglycemic, which is regulates blood sugar levels, and anti-dyslipidemic, which is lowering the fats in your circulation, and antioxidant effects in human subjects without production of adverse effects. None of these studies involve the use of leaf extracts. I believe they use the powder for it. And for more information on the study, I'll link the study in the bio. I mean the description below. And looking at this herb, they show you go over the real the chemistry of it, but in essence, basically what it does is it's got anti-hypertensive, diuretic, and cholesterol lowering. Diuretic means that it lowers the water levels inside your body. It's got antispasmodic, which is it helps relieve tension, muscle tension, anti-spasm, anti-ulcer. It's got this healing of flesh, also hepatoprotective activities. It helps protect the liver. It's got anti-tumor, anti-cancer activities. There's numerous studies showing because of this anti-tumor, anti-cancer activities, there's a lot that goes into the Moringa herb. Oftentimes, they don't recommend this herb before you go into chemo and all this stuff. And if you're listening to this, please follow your doctor's advice. Don't just read this and try to do, this is for education purposes. So do not take this as medical advice. Okay. And the list goes on and on and on about how it's antimicrobial. Moringa seeds as a coagulant. Moringa seeds as a bioabsorbent. And this is the situation that the amino acids were able to help clean the water, just like in the Bible. It had the ability to clean the water. And the effects of moringa uh, have been known to increase breast milk volume in early postpartum patients. So it is considered a very safe herb um, to take as a mom who's pregnant, who just gave birth. As soon as you're done giving birth, you should be taking some moringa to produce more milk for their babies. And the review of the safety of the efficacy of moringa is that in human studies, um, that when they did smaller portions compared to large dosages, is that larger dosages had more better effects on people's health overall compared to smaller dosages. But at the same time, I'm a firm believer that if you take small dosages of anything over a longer period of time, but it has to be consistent, that can derive a good function as well. And I believe that moringa really fits into this category. You can't take moringa for long periods of time and not have an adverse effect. And this study really shows that. So, if you like content like this, please hit the like button. And if there's any herbs that you would like me to go over in the future, please comment in the comment below. And subscribe and hit that notification bell for more information like this. I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye.